Now, actually, you can go ahead and leave that down for now. Now, I would hope that none of you would think that this is anything so crass as a twist ending, because twist endings are bullshit, narratively speaking. What this is, actually, is a story that you probably haven't been paying the right sort of attention to. It's a story that you probably weren't thinking in the right way about. What this is actually, it's a story that you actually can't understand until you read it the second time. Once upon a time, there was a princess who lived in a marzipan castle. She lived there all alone. Now, it's probably not entirely your fault if you went down the wrong road mentally while you're reading this, because it's got a lot of things that would make it look like a kid's book. It's got a teddy bear, it's got a princess, it is a picture book in its own right. But as we go through, you have to take a certain amount of responsibility for not being an attentive reader. And, I actually make a point. I got a sticker that we printed up that says, "This shit is not for kids," right? Because I was a little nervous about kids getting a hold of this book and ended up traumatized forever. Because, again, it has sort of a protective coloration, and it does things that kids' books do. There's a description of a lot of individual parts here. There's some repetition. There's a monster. But dude is legging it away. And she wanted to call him Mr. Mutton Chop because of how he smelled. And, back when they used to invite me to speak at high schools, and it doesn't happen so much anymore, I would read this book because, it's something kind of bite-sized you can do, it's a little interactive. And I got to this page once on the first read-through, and I heard a kid, way in the back of the room, whisper to somebody next to him and said, there's a lot of bones in this book. I'm like, good for you. I want you running the country when you grow up. Give me hope for the future. Now, at a certain point, you are just being willfully ignorant that there isn't something a little different going on in this book. And so it's really not my fault. I knew we couldn't get over the wall. You got more heads on pikes down there by the bridge. Because Mr. Whiffle was forced to take terrible revenge. I told you. They still hadn't found Emmy by dinner time. Thinking about her lost kitten made her tummy hurt. Right, yeah. This was never a pet. So, this, for those of you that have never read any of my stuff, who might not know who I am, this is what I do. Most of my work is not picture book style. I tend to write big, fat fantasy novels. But what holds true is the fact that I like to write stories that have a lot in the second reading. If you read my stories and you aren't careful, you might find yourself reading a story other than the one that is really there. Maybe that's all I'll say about that for right now. You can go ahead and kill the projector and bring up this light here.